Hey everyone, guess what? It's dark again, and I am gardening in the dark. It's a Wednesday, and this is actually my second time on camera today. I did some interesting stuff with talking about cooking what we call the power greens from the Learning Garden, which is one of the projects of the organization that I'm the executive director of. Wednesday is also Farmers Market Day. And so I get home after farmer's market is dark already, usually, most days. So also then when I got home, I was hoping to get to work right immediately. But as we discovered, the chickens weren't exactly where we needed them to be, which is in their coop, because of we just didn't do it right. Let's just put it that way. And so we were collecting chickens and putting them in the coop tonight. So hopefully we'll figure out how to get those problems solved. And then when I got over here, I discovered that the lights on the top, see where I actually would get light from, like on that side over here, there's a light from the top. On this side, there's not a light. So it's head on into your house and grab yourself a lamp and plug it in, and there you go, you're gardening at night, right? So I mentioned that it's farmers market again tonight, and one of our producers who actually dealt with pretty severe damage during the Hurricane Harvey brings lots of different kinds of plants. There are nursery growers and landscapers and native plant growers, but they get very much into edible production and also organic production. And so they bring a lot of plants to market that help with gardens for different reasons. Pollinators, of course, is a plant need for gardeners. Also plants that companion planted with other types of plants will help, particularly with a specific bug. So I picked up actually 4 plants from our friends tonight. Okay, and so this is one of the ones she talked to me about. She said that the leaves are edible and the flowers will turn blue and they seed really well. And so this is definitely one that I would pick up and put out in our yard. And I'm going to get that one planted in a bigger pot tonight, and then I'll get it watered, but then get it better watered in the morning. This is a lyre leaf sage, and its leaf is kind of looks like sorrel. It's got red veins in it. Red vein sorrel, it kind of looks like that. And of course, any kind of sage or salvia type plant does really well in our region and attracts lots of good butterflies and bugs and things like that. So I'm going to get that planted, and then this one is the one she's really excited to tell us about tonight. Angel Trumpet Datura is the proper name, I guess. And she actually gave me one that's about to bloom over here. And they're moonflowers, so they bloom at night. They attract a particular moth. And she also said that she had some that came up next to her squash. They regrew themselves after they had some flooding last year in the space that they're at, and this plant came up in a different place than was expected. But instead of getting rid of it, she kind of let it do its thing for a while and discovered that it was really helpful in her squash plants. And she was saying that we really only probably need one of them, and then we can reseed when we're ready to reseed. So I got 2, one for our home, and then I got one over here for to take over to the Learning Garden and get planted out there. We are wanting to manage those squash bugs as well. And so I'm really excited to get this one. And it actually looks very similar to eggplant to me. Has the same variety, must be. And then I met somebody at the farmer's market tonight that was saying that this is where belladonna comes from. So if that's something that you're into, that might be something to look into. And then one last plant is a Mexican mint marigold. It's got the pretty yellow flowers on it. This one has a kind of an anise flavor to it, she said. And they're really good for pest control as well. So I'm going to get this planted. And then last but not least, I picked up sapote seeds. Sapote is a persimmon tree, and the persimmon actually tastes like chocolate pudding. And I have eaten it, and it tastes like chocolate pudding. Now, I did just do some search because I'm just now planting these seeds about, you know, what is it that I would need to do to plant these seeds to make them correct. After I planted some peach pits yesterday, I was talking to Michelle, a gal that works with me, and I'm not even sure whether I planted the peach the right direction. So that's a new planting for me. So tree seeds, planting from tree seeds is something I've never really done before. And so that's something I'm really having to learn from. So I looked up, I did some research right before I got over here. And with David the Good, he's wrote a really good book that I just listened to not too long ago. Or I listen on Audible when I'm out at the garden. And it's called Compost Everything. And I was quite impressed with it, actually, the book, or the Audible, whatever. And so I started following him on YouTube. And I'm really impressed with, you know, some of the stuff he's talking about. And I love watching his stuff about pumpkins and squash. And I believe he grows in Florida. Anyway, so he had sapote plants growing and talked about them. But one thing he said is that once you get the seeds, you need to plant them immediately. So I've had these seeds for almost nearly for about 8 months. Just because for me, you know, I tend to hang on to tree seeds for a while, not really knowing much about planting them. But I'm going to get braver with that, especially now that I'm at home, and especially because I'm gardening every single day. So I'm going to go ahead and get these planted in just some, you know, little 1-inch pots and see what happens. If they don't come up, I mean, what was I going to do? No loss really. But I'm pretty excited. I hope that this tree gets going, and if it does, I've got 5 of them here, and I'll get several of them going at the garden. Get one planted here, maybe take one out to the farm, so that there's one out in the farm, yeah, that'll be pretty cool, right? If I get that going, I'll show you if I do. So anyway, I'm going to, I'm working in this new space over here. This is, we did get this area all worked up so that I have a nice little planting area over there. You can see I've got a baker's rack that I can stack things on, and I've got my pot ready to go with fertilizer, my soil, some pest control, although I don't use that like highly regularly, but I have it in case of a serious need. And then sprayers, we did do a very broad spray, garlic, peppermint oil, cayenne, really for mosquitoes more than anything else. But anyway, so I'm going to get this work done tonight, and then I'm going to head in, and I am very excited to drop this in my 50-day transformation thing, and see you guys tomorrow. Have I mentioned how busy we are these days? We are very busy. Tomorrow's another full day. Friday's another full day. Saturday's another full day. Sunday's another full day. I think Monday's another full day. Put your head down and get through October, right? And it's one of my best months of the year, though. I love it so much. It's so much fun. All right, I will see you all. Be well.